It's me, Mario!
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
It was June 23rd, 1996. For the first time ever, a game has been created where the player can move anywhere on a 3D plane. Super Mario 64 is breathtaking for a game that came out 25 years ago. A game that has been released multiple times, always near the top of the list of greatest games of all time. I'm Maxwell Thompson, and this is why I believe Super Mario 64 is the greatest game of all time. Super Mario 64 is an all-time great because of its level design. Taking inspiration from some of their 2D games like Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3, 64 had to have a hub housing all of these stages that Miyamoto and the team had in mind. Peach's Castle is one of the greatest game hubs ever created. Comparing Peach's Castle to some of the other N64 classics like Banjo-Kazooie and Gruntilda's Lair, comparing those two are not even close. Let's start with the courses inside of Super Mario 64. If you're like most players, you will find yourself going straight to Bob-omb Battlefield. This course is massive and a great way to introduce the player to all the moves that Mario can do. With the course being so big and one of the biggest in the game, Nintendo made it really easy for the player to find out where they're going. When you enter the level, a star select screen comes up and it will tell you the name of the star, which often gives you a hint on where to go. The first star name is called Big Bomb on the summit, so you already know where to go. When you load in, you'll see the massive summit, and no, I'm gonna have to go up there. The way that Nintendo made it was so that it's not like a 2D game where you have one linear path running left to right. There are multiple different ways to get to the top of the mountain. You can take a teleporter up to the top if you look long enough. You can walk your way up. You can wall kick up a section. One issue that deviates the player from an open world experience is that after every star that you collect in the game, you are booted out of the level. This can sometimes break the flow, and depending what star you're going for, you can be completely unmotivated to go again. On maps like Tick-Tock Clock, where you have to climb to the top of the tower multiple times, it is really difficult to want to go back in. That being said, all these levels are amazing. Each course really had a different theme, and Nintendo really had to expand their thinking compared to their 2D games to create a course that would take in the player and make them want to keep playing. The way that the castle is set up is there is the main floor, which you enter through the courtyard, which are the easier levels in the game. After beating Bowser in the lobby, you obtain a key and you can go to the basement levels. Those levels significantly pick up from the lobby, but still aren't too difficult. Downstairs, there's another Bowser fight, Bowser in the Fire Sea, and after collecting that key, you go to the upstairs, where the levels are some of the most difficult in the game. And there's one section of upstairs, which brings you to the tip top of the castle. Many players call it Tippy, contains Tick-Tock Clock and Rainbow Ride, the two hardest stages in the game. Now, this game doesn't get more difficult, as in they nerf Mario or make him more weak. It gets more difficult by level design. In Bob-omb Battlefield, it's almost impossible to die. There's a chain chop, bomb-bombs, and Goombas. There's not much else. In Tick-Tock Clock, one small slip-up could send you falling to the bottom of the stage, possibly into the pit. Nintendo did a great job at creating natural enemies that Mario had to face. When I first played this game, I was about 8 years old, and I found it incredibly difficult. I could not find any of the stars, beat any of it. The older I got and realized that I had to read when I was playing, not just spam A to get through every text box, and the more I got used to the crazy N64 controller, the more I realized that this game is a lot easier. The biggest design flaw of this game is probably the controller. Compared to many other controllers at the time, like the PlayStation 1 controller, or even the original NES and SNES controller, N64 is in a completely different category, having 3 prongs that you can put your hands on depending on the game, an analog stick, and multiple face buttons and triggers. Now this leads me into the second point, the gameplay. Gameplay is what makes Mario a great game. Super Mario would not be as big as it is currently without its beginnings in 2D platforming. Movement is a big part in why I keep coming back to this game. The amount of moves that you can pull off and string together are fun and simple to do. You can do wall kicks, long jumps, dives, triple jumps, really anything you can think of. Although I do dislike the base N64 controller, I don't think Mario 64 could be where it is if they went for a more traditional style controller. The controller is almost a gimmick to the console. In Super Mario 64, there are many bosses within the levels and the castle. Bosses such as Big Bomb, the Womp King, Wiggler, Bowser, Big Boo, Big Boy, Chill Boy, and I-Rock. None of these fights are specifically difficult, but they add to each level. There are also 15 secret stars to be found within the castle and inside of the levels. Inside the 15 courses, there are 7 stars, 6 regular stars, and 1 100 coin star. Some of the most memorable secret stages are Wing Cap stage and Peach's secret slide. My final point is that Super Mario 64 is a game that anyone can come to or come back to. This game has stood the test of time. This game is still huge mainly due to the speedrunning community. As of April 2021, there are 18,000 plus speedruns that have been submitted to the leaderboards. Mario 64 has been released multiple times, bringing light to this amazing game. If you, like myself, weren't around in 1996 to experience this amazing game, they brought it out on the DS, the Wii Virtual Console, Wii U Virtual Console, as well as the Nintendo Switch. The popular website Twitch TV has quite a bit of Mario 64 gameplay on there. Most players will stream themselves trying to speedrun the game, trying to get better times, and achieve world record. This game is also partly big because of how big of a staple it is in the gaming community. Anyone who's picked up a game console, or if not even played games, have heard of Mario. And the speedrunning community is just making that bigger. Being one of the biggest games, all of the categories are extremely tight. All these world records are insane achievements, and you have to dedicate a lot of time to obtaining one. 16 star is one of the most popular for beginners, because they can pick up a controller, learn the route, and beat the game under half an hour. Now the world record currently stands at 14 minutes and 59 seconds by speedrunner Aki. This is one of the greatest feats in all of speedrunning history. It has been the first minute barrier to be beaten since 2011. For the N64 version alone, there are around 2,000 runs submitted just of 16 star category. 70 star is the no major glitches category, where you have to beat the game how it was intended by collecting 70 stars and going to fight Bowser at the end. This is really a one-man show by D Whatever, whose current world record is 46 minutes and 59 seconds. 120 star is probably the most fun to watch, and gains the most viewers on Twitch when someone plays. The current world record is 138.25 by a Spanish speedrunner named Cheese05. This world record has been passed back and forth quite a bit in the last year. A runner named Liam got this record 11 months ago, and is still a top player to this day. After that, Simply broke his record 3 months after he got that, with a 138.28, and recently, Cheese only broke that record 1 month ago. A fourth runner named Punk Asian has been climbing through the ranks, who's also been playing for a long time, being great friends with Cheese05 and Simply. He PB'd 4 times in the last 30 days, which means this category is looking to be extremely tight and going to be really fun to watch. Hopefully this time gets pushed even further in the next coming months. Mario 64 is the greatest game of all time because of 3 reasons: gameplay, level design, and the longevity of it. With Mario 64 being such a fountain of nostalgia for many gamers, these levels have been thrown into new Mario games like Super Mario Galaxy 2, and Super Mario Odyssey had a little ode to 64 by including a costume which looked like the retro 64. The gameplay is truly what shaped 3D Mario games to what they are today, being some of the biggest games out on the market. If you have not played this game before, I highly recommend it. Join many other gamers in playing the greatest game of all time. Now if you own a Nintendo console, you can basically pick it up for anything. As I said before, you can pick it up on DS, Wii, Wii U, and Switch. And if you don't have any of those, if you just have a laptop or a PC, you can pick up the emulator Project 64 and just emulate the game to try it out. I'm Maxwell Thompson, and thank you for watching.